There are three levels of brand storytelling. Level one brand storytelling is where you're literally just spitting out the features, the practical facts, the specifics of what it is that you do. And level one storytelling I consider to be the laziest form of marketing. And I call it lazy because you're putting the responsibility of making connections on your customers. So you're saying, here's what we do. Now you go figure out what it is that it means to you. Making that connection requires a few leaps in logic sometimes. And so the level one storytelling is the easiest way out. And this is the most common as well. When you look at people's websites, you look at brands' websites, it lists out features after features. Here's what we do. These are the specifics of our offering. Now you go figure out what it is that it means to you. That takes us to level two storytelling. Level two storytelling is when you begin to take that responsibility onto yourself and making that connection for your clients and for your customers. Instead of simply listing out all it is that you do, you're saying, here's the actual value that we provide for you. Here's the connection between what we do and your needs. It's a demonstration of an understanding of what it is that they need and how you're able to solve their problems. So that's level two storytelling, and it's much more powerful. Brands that are able to do this allow customers to make that connection much quicker. They can see, I see what it is that you do. That's how you're telling me how it solves my problems. It shows that you understand my business. And so that's level two brand storytelling. The rarest form and the highest level, the most difficult to attain, is level three brand storytelling. Level three brand storytelling is when you move beyond features, when you move beyond even value to tell an actual story, an actual narrative arc that's engaging and emotional. The example I like to give is, like any great story, there's always a protagonist. The protagonist has to overcome some sort of challenge. Maybe there's an antagonist or an enemy they have to confront. And along the way, they have to acquire superpowers, magical artifacts, weapons. And those are the key components of any great movie you've ever watched, whether it's Luke Skywalker obtaining a lightsaber to defeat the evil emperor. And level three brand storytelling often puts your customers into the protagonist position. It sets your brand or your service up, your company, your offering as this magical artifact that they have to obtain along the way, that with you equipped, they can now take on a conflict or a challenge or an obstacle that they otherwise couldn't overcome without you. And level brand storytelling is by far the most memorable because when you tell stories from that perspective, there's an emotional aspect involved. It's when you put your customers at the center of that story as the protagonist, it just makes it much more memorable. They're able to not only connect logically, but they're able to connect emotionally to the pains of confronting that obstacle and the relief of being able to obtain some sort of superpower that allows them to power through. And some great brands that are doing this, that have a great reputation for this, are companies like Apple. They obviously have lots of great specs, but the core of their brand is in the storytelling, putting their customers at the center of the brand story, and being able to make those emotional connections is what makes Apple really successful from a marketing perspective. So the next time you look at your marketing, maybe try to evaluate where are you? Are you at level one storytelling where you're just listing out a bunch of features? Have you attained level two storytelling where you're moving beyond features and actually helping your customers understand value? Or are you moving into level three storytelling where beyond just the logical connections, you're helping your customers make emotionally impactful and memorable connections through the power of brand storytelling?